Hello everyone. So today I want to talk about uh, books to learn Jira, books to learn Jira administration, books to get into Jira consultation. Now I'm making this video because of course I get a lot of questions on this topic, which is great. But at the same time, I don't really want to give you a short answer and point you to some book of mine. So I do have plenty of books which I have written in Jira, on Jira. And of course, I have this channel where I share my knowledge. Now, the thing is that when people are trying to get into Jira, they want to learn Jira, they usually have questions about uh, some books or some training courses that they can do. Now, I of course want to give you my suggestion based on my experience because I deal with this or I talk to people related to training and learning and not just for people who want to use Jira or who want to maybe get into Atlassian consultancy or Jira tool admin work, but also I train people who are using Jira in their organization because when you roll out Jira to someone, maybe a small team or maybe a small BU or a small section of a big company, training is always involved. And I do always stress on training slash some kind of mentorship, or I should say coaching. I think coaching is probably the right word. Now, this video is focused more on someone who is trying to learn Jira for career and they are looking for a book to read. Now, I don't really have any recommendation of any book. I cannot really recommend you any book apart from mine because, first of all, I have not really read those books. To be honest, uh, uh, I'm not even aware of books. I know there are a lot of books because I've seen it somewhere, but I don't really have like a link or a name that I can recommend or suggest because that would be not fair because I cannot really recommend a book that I have not really read myself. But if you search online, you will find, of course, plenty of information. But I would say if you want to learn Jira, and again, I make this. I made videos on this and I have mentioned this previously as well in my videos that first figure out what you're trying to do. In case you just want to learn Jira as a tool, then great. Learning from a book or from training and some videos will definitely help because you get to quickly uh, absorb those things that you can potentially do with the tool. So definitely you can learn, but I would say you don't have to, or you don't really have to rely on only reading a book or getting a training. You can always do it yourself. And I fail to understand why people don't really try to learn it on their own. These days, everything, literally everything that you want to learn, uh, if not everything, I think majority of things are available online. There are a lot of resources online, and I can tell you from my experience because I've been using internet from the early days. When I was in, I think the first time did something with internet was definitely in late, or not late, but I think it was late 90s. Yep, definitely. But back then, uh, and as compared to what we have right now, like in the last 25 years, things are totally different. I mean, you have literally thousands of videos and posts on a single topic. So if you search for Jira tutorials, you will find a lot of examples online. Not only videos, but of course, free content. So you can definitely learn it yourself. And good thing about Jira is that once you have figured out what you want to do with Jira, then of course it will give you some kind of a learning path. Because if you ask me, recommend a book for Jira, um, I need to first know what you're trying to do with Jira. So uh, reading a book is fine, but you can simply sign up for a free Jira instance. And that was not the case in the past. In the past, we had to install Jira on our own local computer. Nowadays, if you want to do something with Jira, even if you don't really have a technical background, maybe you just want to learn Jira, like learn it for your own usage, or you just want to get familiar with it, you can do it literally in 2 minutes. Just go to Atlassian website and sign up for a free instance. And when you sign up for a free instance, of course, you will be bombarded with so many things. And try to first, understand what Jira can do for you by creating some projects. So if you are new to Jira, of course, you can create a new project. And when you create a new project, you will get the option to either select Jira Service Management or Jira Software or Jira Work Management. So create a project and start using it. At the same time, when you start using it, and depending upon what you want to do with Jira, you will have your own instance to play with. So just use your instance, create a project, get familiar with the interface, and then of course create different configurations, modify your configurations. And if you're already working somewhere, and this is something that I can tell you from my experience, because I used to work for partners, Atlassian partners, and I also worked with juniors, someone who just joined that partner organization to become a consultant, great consultant like me. And they wanted to learn Jira, of course, but learning Jira is like an ongoing process. If you know, like maybe, so let us say you start using Jira today, and after a couple of days you get familiar with, you familiarize yourself with the features, and you also know a little bit about the admin part, then simply start using it. I mean, apply your knowledge in real life. Sometimes, not sometimes, yes, I should say sometimes, no, let me say it differently. Majority of people I have encountered, they want to do something with Jira, like as part of their career. They underestimate their skills. I think it is not really just Jira. I think it's probably in general. People are usually not really confident about their capabilities, and they think that if they need to know something, they need to know everything about it. For example, I know Jira, but of course I don't really know each and everything about Jira. I probably know like 99%. I mean, I'm just, joking, but I know a lot about Jira because I've spent time. But you have to, if you're learning something, you need to have clarity. You need to have some goal. You need to basically figure out what you're trying to do. When I learned Jira, my goal was to do migrations. I wanted to roll out Jira to a team, and I also wanted to onboard or move away from legacy-based systems to Jira. And in the process, I learned a lot of things. So I had a goal. So when you have this goal-based, objective-based learning, then you will quickly learn things that you need to learn. And this can only happen when you figure out what you want to do, what you are trying to achieve, what is your end goal. So make some kind of a plan, like in 2 months or in 3 months or 4 months, you want to do these things. And to be honest, in the beginning, it might seem difficult, but you can actually, once you start planning for it, you can actually create like a list of things that you need to learn. What I normally do, whenever I am learning something, it could be anything. I basically make my own list, and I just check it that, okay, I've done this, I've done that, and so on. So when I make a list, it also gives me clarity, and it also gives me an option later on after 2 months or 2 weeks or 2 days that I probably need to learn something else as well. So I keep on updating this list. So this list is like a live list of things that I want to learn. So when it comes to learning from a book, I just want to say that in this video, I mean, feel free to approach me, and my answer would be same. But I don't really have any specific recommendation for a book. I mean, to be honest, if you do a quick search online, let us do a quick search online, and we can do it together. Let me open the browser, and let us go to amazon.co.uk, and let us search for Jira books. So if you search for Jira books, so we have something called as Jira for Beginners detailed book, blah blah blah. It's a free book, I guess. Then Jira 8 cookbook, then Jira JQL, and Jira 8 essentials, and Eat, Sleep, Jira. Okay, so Jira Development Cookbook. So to be honest, I know all of them personally, and Jira Core Workflows, Jira Development Cook. So there are so many books, and of course, my book, which is always good to see, and we have Jira Quick Start Guide, which is again my book, by the way, and there are a lot of books. So that is what I'm trying to say. I cannot really recommend, to be honest, some of these books. I mean, not really some of these books, but in the past, I've reviewed books, and if you follow my channel, I think 2 years back I made a video on a book which I reviewed, and that book was basically. So basically, this book, Scaled Agile, it's on Jira Line. I know the author because he's a friend, and but I never really read this book, so I can't really recommend you if I should or you should read a book or not. But I can recommend actually one book. Like there is one book on automation. So this one. So Gareth is actually a friend of mine, and I've read this book because I had to, because I was the reviewer. So I can recommend you this book, but this book is actually on automation for Jira, not really like Jira in general. So if you don't know Jira, then start by learning Jira first. Then of course you can start by this book. So I would still say there are so many books available in the market, and people are definitely buying these books. These books are definitely great because someone has written them. I'm sure there is some information in it. And of course, these books are paid books. So just, do some Google research, look at reviews. But I would say you don't really have to. You don't really have to buy a book and then read it and then buy another book and finish it. You can just get started. And sometimes reading a book definitely helps if you know what you're doing. So if you're like very clear about what you want to do with learning Jira, most of the times people buy a book, and it happens to me all the time because people send me messages that I purchased your book, and I learned something about Jira. I learned the admin part. I also learned a bit about script runner, but I'm actually a project manager, and in your book there's a chapter on Jira Software Agile, but I want to learn how to estimate. I want to learn how to use Jira to manage my product management. So there are some elements that you can pick from certain books, and of course, from online research. But you need to be very clear and specific about your end goal. And that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. That if you are trying to learn Jira, don't really just say, I want to learn Jira. You should probably say that I want to learn Jira to become a project manager. I want to learn Jira to become admin, or maybe I need to learn Jira because I think Jira is cool. I just want to know the basics. So once you have like a clear definition, then definitely you will get much better advice. And that is normally what I ask people. And I think I made a video, Guide to Jira Administrators, something like that, Guide to Start Your Atlassian Journey. All right, that is it. That is it for today's video. And in case you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I do get a lot of messages on LinkedIn, and I am more than happy to help you, reply to your messages. And in case you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.